Local shape, good it up, so you me like I'm never filming outside again. I'm never doing this again. Heads down, heads down, heads down, heads down, heads down. Let me not disrespect Jenny. Now this is focusing on somewhere where it's not supposed to be focusing. I hear humans. Hey guys, welcome and welcome to a glimpse into my life. Okay, so today's video is going to be about what I use to study Korean. Sorry if I sound like I'm whispering, because I am. I'm outside and I have neighbors. I've been studying Korean for a while now, and I'm still not fluent. Don't know why. Maybe it's because I've taken like 4 several month-long breaks in the span of 3 years. So yeah, I've been studying Korean since July 2017, and I'm still about at an intermediate level, which I believe is okay. At least I'm not a beginner anymore, but it's still not where I'd like it to be. But I do enjoy, and I find the ways that I study Korean to be very effective. It's just that I don't do it as often as I should in order to be fluent. So I'm sorry to myself for that, but I'm gonna prove to you that I'm good at Korean, and this video is worth watching. So let's go. It's okay. The main app that I've used throughout my entire Korean learning experience is LingoDeer, and oh my gosh, I swear by it, I trust it to death. I haven't really heard a lot of YouTubers that have talked about their Korean learning talk about LingoDeer, but it's really the only thing that has 100% worked for me. I've tried Duolingo, I tried Memrise because I heard a lot of people talking about it, and they helped, but just not in the way I was looking for. So I'm not trying to discredit them at all and say they don't work. It depends on who you are, obviously, but I just feel like you should give LingoDeer a try. Who the hell is playing music? The only downfall for LingoDeer is that it doesn't teach Pachim, and I didn't know what it was because it doesn't talk about it at all. At least when I was starting out, it wasn't there. I haven't looked back to see if they've added it. If they have, that's great. But to be honest, Pachim is very important, but it's not something that's hard to learn. Whether you're a beginner or you're further along in your learning, it does help your pronunciation and it helps you to do it right. But learning it later on is really not a problem, because learning it later on is really not a problem because you've already become accustomed to how Koreans speak and how they sound, and Bachim rules is already present in how you've probably been speaking, but you just didn't realize it was a rule, because there were a lot of things that I learned with the Bachim rules that I was already following, even though I didn't know it was actually a rule. So yeah, those are 7 rules. Even if it's not on LingoDeer, you can find it in YouTube videos, you can find it on several sites, so just look that up. But that and LingoDeer, I think, yeah. But other things that I recommend, definitely 100% Talk to Me in Korean YouTube videos. I watch those all the time. They're very, 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 very helpful. Just some random questions that you may have, you can even go to their their Twitter account, and you can ask them questions and they will answer you, and sometimes they'll answer you in a YouTube video. Also, How to Study Korean is a good site, literally laid out from beginning to end. It's amazing, but I didn't stick to it like I stick to LingoDeer because it was an app on my phone. I could use it anytime, That's why I use the app more than a website, but the website is still very, very good, and I 100% recommend it. Yes, but other apps that I use to aid my Korean learning. First app, HiNative. I love HiNative to death. HiNative is really, really, really good. It is so resourceful. It's basically where you ask a native something about their language and they can answer you in seconds, in minutes. Sometimes it may take a while, trust me. But they do answer you very quickly most of the time because you get points for answering people quickly. It's not only for Korean, it can be for any single language ever. What? That doesn't make any sense. It can be for any language. Any language. You can use HiNative for it. It's very, very useful. You know, some questions, some contingencies that it may have with the language that you can't look up online, that if you look it up online, you don't really find answers for that question. You can ask on HiNative and natives will answer you. Not only natives, sometimes I answer Korean questions. That's if it's easy enough that I can answer. So it's not always a native that answers you, but it's somebody who knows what they're talking about. And you can get several answers and choose which one suits you best. So yeah. Next one is Korean conversation, and I don't use it often, but it is very helpful. It just gives you a bunch of different topics, and there's conversations, sample conversations in which you can practice saying yourself. They will record your pronunciation and everything like that and tell you if you sound right. It's very, really helpful, and it just gives you a sense of how casual, normal conversations in Korean would work. There's an app called Korean Pronunciation, and that's also really, really, really helpful because double consonants and the other one, aspirated consonants, I don't remember what it's really called, but those are really hard for me to tell the difference between, and that app has helped me so much. I can't even begin to explain. That's really all there is for that, because there's writing as well, but it's kind of basic and I don't have to do writing exercises anymore, but that is there if you would need it. But that app is just very helpful for pronunciation. It's Papagpo translator, lifesaver. It's the only translator that I actually trust 100%. Well, not 100% because translators are AI, so let's just say 95%. I trust it the most out of everything that is there. And also I recommend HelloTalk. I've never used HelloTalk, but I know people that have used it and have good reviews about it, so I would say that as well. I'm just waiting until I get a little older to feel safer on HelloTalk. I mean, those are strangers, random strangers that are texting you on a daily basis. Like, yeah, it's kind of ooh. That's it for the apps that I use. But now on to the methods that I use for studying Korean. First thing is to establish a good study schedule. There are different skills that you need to master in studying any language, obviously Korean as well. So there's pronunciation, there's writing, there's speaking, there's comprehension / thinking, and pronunciation, speaking, writing, and comprehension. I think that's all of them. I think so. Yeah, so you can practice based off of those skills and try each day, each week for a particular skill or something like that. Just whatever you find works for you, or you can do all of them in one day if that works for you as well. But find a good schedule, find a good basis of what just simply works for you. Find a time period of what works for you. Just establish a good schedule. So for me, I try to study Korean at least 15 minutes every single day and 2 hours least on weekends, because I usually have a lot more time on the weekends. So except for right now I'm reviewing everything I've learned, so reviews take a little longer than 15 minutes a day and everything like that. So yeah, for everyday practice I use, as I said, LingoDeer, and I just write down their little things as like classes in my book. before it actually has the lesson with the examples and everything that you go through, it has this part where it just gives you notes. So I write down the notes first, and I write lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, based upon how many lessons are in that particular section. I don't know what to call it. The second method that I use is I'm a K-pop fan. I like K-pop songs, so I just learn the songs to learn the songs for the fun of it, and I don't learn the songs to learn what the words mean or anything, but that's just simply to help me with pronunciation and how Koreans say words. For example, nega, not nega, but nega. That doesn't make any sense. But nega is in your. A lot of Koreans, not a lot of Koreans, but basically it's pronounced as niga because it has the same pronunciation as the other nega, and I didn't know that. So when I was learning love scenario, and niga is in the lyrics, and for the life of me I couldn't understand why it was singing niga instead of nega, and that's why, because they pronounce it differently. And that helps you to realize that. I don't try to go through every word because I doubt I'll remember them, but I do at least try to do it for pronunciation. You need to learn how to talk to yourself and force yourself to think in Korean. I think in English. I think in English / patois, depends on how I'm feeling. So I have to force myself to have conversations in Korean and to think in Korean when the time comes for it, because it just comes off a lot more natural. And when you have to ever speak to a Korean native, if the time comes, it will seem more natural because you're used to doing it to yourself, rather than having to plan out the whole sentence in your head before you say it. You might make a mistake when you're saying it with yourself, but at least you're getting used to saying things just right off your head. You're getting used to saying things right off the top of your head instead of taking 5 minutes to construct the best sentence. It's good to have things natural. Oh, talk to your friends and talk to your family, even if they don't want to hear it. Do it anyways. That's what I do. Yeah, and you can also take listening, like on YouTube. If you type in listening beginner Korean, whatever, something like that, you're bound to find something. And even if you're not a beginner, there's going to be something for you. They're really good. They're really good resources online to learn Korean, especially with the whole K-pop thing. Yay, K-pop! Make Quizlets. I don't use Quizlets for Korean on a regular basis, but I use it for words that I specifically just cannot remember for the life of me. There's some verbs, some words that I will learn, and I have to learn it once and I will remember it for the rest of my Korean journey for some reason, even if it's not relevant at all. And there's some words for the life of me I just cannot remember. I put them in a Quizlet of 20 words and I study them. Another very, very, very helpful tip Another very, very helpful tip is to listen purposefully. Listen to any resource that you may use to study Korean, whether it's just an app, whether it's a K-pop song, whether it's a Korean drama, whether it's, what are those things called? Variety show, a Korean variety show. Just listen purposefully. Listen to their sentences and try to understand what they're saying. Don't just listen and try to pick out words that you know, but listen and try and put that word together. Put the sentence together. And when you put the sentence together in your head, think of how it is spelled and then put it into a translator and try and translate it into English. That works on so many skills at once. It listens to you. It works on your listening and comprehension skills. It works on your spelling, being able to spell it correctly and then put it into a sentence. And then the last method that I use to study Korean is just one merely for fun, but Jolly videos on YouTube. Jolly is a YouTuber YouTube channel, and they have a series where one person teaches the next person Korean, and it is one of the most hilarious things I've ever watched in my life. So even though it is extremely funny, there have been things that I've picked up on the show. Some things obviously I've known already, but I pick up other things, that they just drop into the lesson and I didn't know it before, or I didn't realize it. It's very, very good, trust me. Even if you don't learn anything, it's very entertaining. We're going on to the next category in this video, which is called self-testing. So I make sure to always be testing, well, not always, but I make sure to test myself intermittently. Am I using that word correctly? I try to test myself frequently enough. So I make tests for myself sometimes, especially now since I'm reviewing everything I've done from the beginning. Before a review, I just made a test. I went through all the lessons that I've done and just made a test of vocab and a test of sentences. And then now that I'm going through my review, I have bad memory, so I have no idea what I wrote down in the test. So when I go back to the test, it's like I'm seeing it for the first time and I'm testing myself as if a teacher gave me a test. And that is really, really good for me, because it's forcing me to be able to understand these words that, I just wouldn't normally remember. Another form of self-testing, you can give yourself oral. You can give yourself oral situations. So like how I said, you can talk to yourself. This is talking to yourself, but in a testing way. Like, give yourself a short amount of time in which to come up with an answer. Give yourself the challenge of using grammar that you just learned, or you've never used before, or you never really use. Something like that. Just add something in there that makes it a test. And the last form of self-testing I do is to test other people, or to teach other people, or to explain concepts to other people. Right now, actually, I'm teaching two of my friends Korean from start, from the very beginning, from the alphabet. It's been rough. It's been rough. Oh God, what was I about to do? It's been rough. Say that again? But, we're getting through it. And that really just helped me, or it's forcing me as well. Forcing me to make sure that I know what I'm telling them and that I'm telling them something that actually makes sense. So it tests my knowledge on whatever it is that I'm teaching them. I'm never filming outside again. I'm never doing this again. Never. I wish you the best on your Korean learning. I just hope you guys, even if you don't use anything here in this video that you just used, what works for you, you use what works for you, and you'll just have a very merry, good, jolly time learning Korean. So make sure to comment down below anything, whether it is good or bad, for what that's not my outro. Make sure you comment down below whether it is good or make sure to comment down below anything, whether it is good or bad. Make sure to subscribe for whatever reason, whether it be good or bad, and make sure to like this video for whatever reason, whether it may be good or bad. Annyeong!